I'm Colin Carew. I'm an Onanya from Brooklyn, New York. I'm also called a medicine man. How I became a medicine man? I was in a really dark place and I didn't really know how to heal myself. But nature introduced me to plant medicine. How did it all start? New York City for me was constant going. It's it's a paying attention, it's a moving, it's a focus. It's like, that energy started to really make me feel, I guess to say sick to a certain degree or not well. At that time too, I was in a very deeper indigenous mind where it's just I'm leaving this place. I want to really learn more about myself and more of my indigenous roots. Then at that time, I remember I checked my mail because I was waiting for a mail for something. Then I got a letter from a friend telling me about, which are now my teachers, these women in Peru. You should go there because you really need to heal. I went there and that's where I learned about plant medicine ceremonies. And it was there that I began my healing. It was through this process that I recognized that my true calling was to share what I had learned with others. Years later, I returned to Peru, connecting to my humble foundation, my teachers, and the plants.
I think as I was going over Peru, getting ready to come into land, Pucallpa, I was just grounding in the reality of what I was returning to. The foundation of so much. My whole life changed because of this place.
My first stop was to check in on a dear friend and inspiration for my work, Cielo. She operates a center for plant-based healing.
Oh, sound asleep. And here we work much more profoundly with each individual person. Each person we work with, individual plants. Some come to do a master plant diet, which we do as well for people for learning or for healing using master plants. There's a very strict regime where they have to limit their salt, sugar, oil, sex, pork as a whole, really strict regime for that. So a lot of regulations, so to speak. Malva. So you smash that up in water and you do head baths and you can drink it. It brings down fevers and takes away headaches.
Last night, I met Masha, the leader of the Huniquin, an indigenous tribe in Brazil.
For us Indians, the land is life. It is through the soil that we survive. It offers a little of everything, and we have to use it wisely. Use it without offending it.
I was invited to sit in ceremony. It was beautiful. After Masha, I met Shaman Wheeler, a member of the ancient Shipibo tribe from the Amazonian rainforests of Peru. Both tribes have been using plants for curing spiritual and physical ailments for thousands of years.
For the work we do with people who come with trauma and stress, it is through our Ikaro that we help. It is spiritual work that we do. Also, people are cured with their diet, but to share or give healing, a teacher has to give love.
The return is being able to cultivate that energy in a strong sense,
Not only your diet, but the plant will help you. You have to have your being inside to be able to liberate and practice what you've learned and do not go back to the world of darkness.
As I leave Peru, I return to the States with a renewed awareness. I'm wanting to share the reflections of this growth that's happening in me with others. As a teacher, it's important to return to the classroom. There's a lot of help that's needed here. The energy of the collective is screaming. For decades and decades, there's been a systematic control of health. I feel that nature itself came here first, and the medicine came here first, and I'm only following it. I'm being part of something that's awakening in the United States. Doing this work is just being straight, honest as you can, but as real as you can, as a practitioner to do your best to help mirror things to people in conversation, you say, and always start off speaking to a person's heart, because that's the truest mirror to get into the real.
What makes Yawasawe's ceremony very unique is Yawasawe is Brooklyn, you know, and he's a whole lot of like jungle meets Brooklyn. He's our peer. When you think of a shaman, you think of some old person, some elder who's sitting off, you know, out of reach, out of touch, who you can't just have real conversation with. And that's not what this is.
It's important to remain teachable. It's important to always know that you're learning, that there's no floor and there's no ceiling to certain processes when it comes to, especially this work. What you have to learn is about yourself. So being able to learn about yourself through other people, through other teachers, that reflection is a very powerful one. At the end of the day, you can learn mass amount of information, but how you look at yourself is the key, and how you process that information and what you become with it. People are starting to become aware of their own nature, you know, the organic aspect of themselves, you know, to say that, like, wait a minute, this makes sense, you know, if I am this organic being, and, you know, it's because, you know, the fact of, like, a lot of other things are, like, helping to weigh this people towards this direction, you know, vegan, vegetarian, you know, all these things, this energy that's also playing a part in this bigger awareness of health. Plant medicines is just within this category of something that kind of, like, you know, it's almost like it piggybacked on the trend in the deeper aspect of the healing that's necessary. You know, a lot of the avatars of how cool you are when you're in the cool place, and then when you're by yourself, you might be suffering. It's also starting to show itself on multiple levels. You know, the celebrities that you think that are amazing, that are committing suicide, the different people are, like, just leaving because of that. You just didn't know that they were suffering more than you can imagine. So we're, you know, in many different ways, we're being shown that, like, you need to just be as real as possible, like, now though.